Hey, what's happening there, guys? eltonmcfall here in Montreal East. I think I'm still in the St. Leonard sector, and look at what we got here. Appears to be a, I'm gonna say it's a 280Z, but I'm not a Nissan Z expert or Datsun Z expert. And I thought it got kind of confusing, you know, when these cars came out. Originally, this type of car came out in 1970, and they were known as the Z car, and it was a 240Z. 4-cylinder, and then there was a 260Z because it was a 6-cylinder, and then they came out with the 280Z. You know? Yeah, 280ZX. And I would say this is a late 70s, early 80s example. Probably early 80s. Probably like 80, 81, 82. 83 was the last year for this design, and then they were, of course they were you know, completely redesigned. I mean, completely redesigned. As a matter of fact, they weren't just redesigned, but they were smaller, I think. Like, the whole hood was shorter, even. And what's even more funny is I was in this area last year, I don't know, on this street or a couple of streets over, and there was a, like, you know, 87, 88, 300Z parked somewhere around here. So it's funny to see this, you know. Oh, you got your T-tops. That gives you more value. But judging how dead that paint is, this thing hasn't been driven, I think, probably in a long time. It's in good shape, though. It definitely hasn't been winter driven. It's not all fucking rotted out. Nice touch here at the vents. Well, this goes out to my friend Michel, who owns a, he owns an 83 that I rode in last summer. Went to Granby with it. Look at that, same dash, same color interior dash, just like his. Yeah, looks like a 5-speed. Power windows. That's a decent candidate for restoration. It would appear that way anyway. You know, power antenna. Yeah, very cool stuff. Yeah, man. Right on. Might not have a lot of mileage, actually. Look at the old fucking plate on there. Oh my god, it's got an old 79 plate on it. Whoa, that's a very old issue Quebec plate on that thing. 79, man. That was the first year for the white plates with the blue numbers. You know. Get a side view over there. They got a nice sound, those straight 6-cylinders, and I'll tell you right now, man. Yeah, my friend Michel did a good thing buying one of those cars. He loves it, man. He's bought a lot of old cars in his life and enjoyed and sold a lot of them, but he's not in a rush to get rid of that 83, which again, I think this one's about the same year. Those fog lights, those were added on. That's not original. But it's interesting, eh? The Japanese, as I once heard, they were experts at copying what the Americans were doing. You know, like this was sort of like a, you know, a cross between the look of a Corvette and a Mustang from that time. You know, the early 70s, late 60s. So it's pretty cool. I want to get one last view of the. Oh fuck! I can't even get into the side views. We're gonna leave it at that. Anyway, nice to see it. That's why I came out here, because in this area sometimes you do see some oldies still. You know, and they're just. There's a lot of places in the world you don't see any old cars practically anymore. It sucks. It's boring. All these fucking boring, cheap cars. Even Japanese cars at that time were better made to a lot of people like me than the ones that are now, because everything was made in Japan. You know, just like if you bought a Buick here, everything was made here, all the parts. You know, but now everything you buy a modern car and the parts are made in Mexico, or they're made in China, or they're made in Taiwan, or whatever. Fuck. You know, there's nothing sacred anymore. Hey, look at that. There's an old Land Cruiser. Let's finish with that. There you go. This looks like one that this looks like the one I wanted to film in my neighborhood, but disappeared. Look at that. Nice, probably, that's an 80-something Land Cruiser. Yeah, again, 6-cylinder power, V6. Yeah, undeniable quality on these things. There you go. Nice color, typical color for these trucks. 4 headlights. No, 2 headlights. That means this one is more of a probably a mid or early 80s, because then I think in 89 they had the 4 headlights on them. Well, there you go. Right on. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this thing, and check me out on Patreon if you want to support what I do, since I do this thing full time with the videos and I love doing it, but still a poor man for now. So anyway, y'all take care now, you hear? Bye-bye. Oof, ayoy.